The two types of gay male feminist Stockholm Syndrome. Hey, it's Prince of Queens, and I was observing some gay men talking about the fact that Grindr, which started as a hookup site for gay men, is now more inclusive to non-male gender identities, basically nullifying its purpose as a gay male hookup site. Some people, like the new channel Cat, are seeing this for what I think that it is. It's not so much a specific dating application deciding to slightly alter its policies and format to be more inclusive for people of varying gender identities, or whatever, but rather it seems to basically be the site bending the knee to the feminist ideology. I personally don't think that this is really about transsexual or transgender people at all. I think that this is more than likely about a small but vocal minority of people who have problems getting laid and thus have no problem ruining the party for everybody else. I'm guessing that these people went on Grindr and saw many profiles that said, no fats, no femmes. And considering the fact that they were femme, often fat, and or maybe even biologically female, this bothered them. And since they weren't getting laid, they figured they might as well try to blame Grindr itself. Was Grindr doing anything wrong? Will the people who were complaining about this have an easier time hooking up? Will anything change if quote-unquote femmes and genderqueer people are more officially allowed on the platform? Well, no, Grindr did nothing wrong by marketing their application to a certain demographic that likes to date basically exclusively within that demographic. No, Grindr changing their format and adding an extra option or 2 or 27 when categorizing people's gender identities will not likely help anybody get laid on a hookup application. And yes, something still has definitely changed now that the intersectionals have gotten their way. Grindr bending the knee has shown these intersectional people yet again that their relentless complaining, to the point of bragging about the alleged victimization that they experience, actually does get them what they want, or what they think they want. Sure, it turns out that what these people are asking for is basically to burn the whole world down, but they haven't thought it through. If they can't see how denying gay men and lesbians the right to have spaces to themselves will lead to the collapse of anything that isn't catered to heterosexuals, then how can we really explain anything to them? If you don't understand at this point that it really is homophobic to demand that a lesbian be open to having sex with somebody with a penis, or that gay men be open to having sex with somebody with a vagina, then this video is not going to be my attempt to get through to you. No, this video is targeted for the growing choir that I am preaching to. And what I want to talk about is that despite the fact that the gay male community is being eaten from the inside out by homophobic feminists who really don't appreciate the notion that we are men that are attracted to other men, still, there are gay guys who not only pledge allegiance to feminism, but defend feminism and viciously attack anybody who challenges it. Really, it's basically very similar to Stockholm Syndrome, from my observation, which is defined as feelings of trust or affection felt in certain cases of kidnapping or hostage taking by a victim towards a captor. However, I think that I can differentiate this into two distinct types of gay men who embrace feminism in a way somewhat like Stockholm Syndrome. The first would be the full-blown true believers who legitimately have it internalized that feminism is maybe the only thing that is keeping them quote-unquote safe. This would be like what would happen if maybe a child from a violently abusive household was kidnapped by a violent cult to use as, say, ransom, and the cult didn't beat them. and instead fed them a tiny bit of candy to keep them happy, metaphorically. You see, there's countless extremely femme gay guys out there who can't get dates in the gay male community or get laid, and they resent the gay male community entirely for that. Then, of course, feminists come along and offer them protection from being made fun of for being femme. Again, this probably won't actually get them any dates or get them laid, unless maybe it does. Sure, these insecure and effeminate gay guys might not ever have any luck on hookup applications. They might not go on Grindr and start getting laid because they were able to put non-binary, but if they hang out with a bunch of feminists, they might meet other similarly insecure and effeminate gay guys that they mesh well with. Thus, the intersectional feminist safe space becomes a non-fertile meeting ground for the unlucky, where a few stray gay guys who couldn't find love or lust at the gay bars or on a hookup application end up lowering their standards for each other, and occasionally they find love. And they want the same for everybody, of course. Why can't every gay guy just hang out with us in the intersectional feminist safe space? This is where I met my lover. We've been together for 2 years now, the overweight, effeminate gay guy asks. Well, the problem is most gay guys are not entirely ready to settle down and don't have endless trouble getting laid. For most guys, even fairly non-conventionally attractive guys, they can get laid at least once a month if they try, simply by lowering their standards at the bars and on the hookup sites. Sure, they might have to proposition 20 or 30 guys before they get laid, but the rejection maybe doesn't traumatize them, as they are grown-ups, and grown-up gay guys tend to be used to rejection because rejection isn't really all that bad. Generally, being rejected by a gay guy doesn't include, "Sorry, you're too fat and femme for me." Usually, they just don't respond to your message on Grindr. It's usually only after endless rejection that a particularly unattractive guy experiences that he ends up asking other gay men why they aren't attracted to him. And he ends up learning that nobody wants to date him because he has the demeanor of and somewhat similar appearance to Lena Dunham. Obviously, this hurts his feelings to know about, but the truth just hurts sometimes, and he's thus faced with two options. A, he can hope to get in better shape and maybe try to make himself more attractive to gay men, or B, find a bunch of people that tell him they like him for who he is, and also say that everybody else should like him for who he is. Obviously, more and more unattractive gay males choose option B seemingly every day, as feminists want them to believe that they can have their cake and eat it too. That they can be non-attractive to gay men and yet be accepted. And if maybe there were just enough other guys on a similar level of attractiveness around, then they would all have dates. It's almost kind of a misery loves company kind of a thing. That's type 1 of the Stockholm Syndrome type guys, and I don't really know what to do about such people. Honestly, there's always going to be people who are dead set on avoiding self-improvement and want to blame everybody but themselves for their own unhappiness. And such people will always be drawn to Marxism, postmodernism, and feminism. So be it. However, the second type of gay guy that suffers from Stockholm Syndrome regarding feminism actually angers me quite a bit more, to be perfectly truthful, because of the fact that these are guys I think should be able to know better, and yet they still have made the choice to align themselves with an ideology that I believe actively hurts them and their community. You see, there's countless self-identified male feminists that are gay guys who are out there that are perfectly attractive guys who will still stand arm in arm with their chubby, effeminate feminist brothers, proclaiming loudly that the community should be inclusive and intersectional. Meanwhile, they always seem to be dating other attractive and usually fairly masculine gay men. The motives that these guys probably have are varying. I'm sure many or most of them probably just don't want people to think that they are jerks. So, despite the fact that they, as individuals, always date attractive white guys that are in decent shape, they tell their chubby femme friend that he's every bit as deserving of love as they are. Which probably confuses the poor guy, as they honestly might better help their friend by offering him some workout advice. More so, I think that there are definitely countless gay men who have pledged allegiance to feminism for career reasons, in terms of academia, nonprofit, and media work, who now feel obligated to defend feminism not simply because of the fact that somewhere along the way it was demanded of them, but more than that, they feel obligated to keep defending feminism, likely internally, because they themselves were partially responsible for telling guys things like that they should be open to having sex with people with vaginas because gender is just a social construct, blah, blah, blah. That's where I think it becomes Stockholm Syndrome, because I think that the guys start to feel like they and their feminist mind captors are actually the same, despite the fact that they are very different. No, these guys are not staring at porn of Buck Angel, a transgender man who has sex with his vagina when they masturbate. These guys are probably looking at Sean Cody porn or Michael Hoffman jerk-off videos, the same as most every other gay guy, and yet simultaneously, they are telling people that gender is a social construct and that they themselves would theoretically be open to having sex with a trans guy if they weren't already together with their masculine husband who has a big cock. Or penis, or whatever. I hope I don't get in trouble. And that feminism is for everybody, they're saying, of course, and that Hillary Clinton should be our president. Those are the types of guys that bug me the most, really. Leave your thoughts in the comments.